right now on a fabulous Friday. Might be the busiest day of the sports year. We've got the entire squad ready to go. Look who's here. Woj is ready with the very latest from the draft and the deals last night. And then across the room, Kimberly Martin is ready to go. Sam Acho ready to go. Both resplendent in green. Rob Ninkovich is here as well this morning, and we'll dive into it all. And it starts with the huge news in the NBA, where last night the Wizards agreeing to send Russell Westbrook to the Lakers. This according to our Adrian Wojnarowski, who is conveniently located to my left. The 32-year-old Westbrook coming off his fourth season, averaging a triple-double. To get him, the Lakers had to give up a lot in addition to their first-round draft pick this year. LA giving up three big role players, you see it there, including Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, their promising young player Kyle Kuzma, and Montrezl Harrell are headed the other way to Washington. And so again, as we showed you, Woj is here, and we'll have Stephen A. this morning, and we'll have Big Perk this morning as well for all of the insight. But what can you tell us about this deal and how it came together?
Well, Russell Westbrook had been talking with Bradley Beal in Washington about what his future would be. And now Bradley Beal has ultimately decided that he's going to continue to play in Washington, not ask for a trade, and Washington's going to try to sign him to an extension, certainly. But as those conversations started going, I think the chance to be in LA and LA's interest in Westbrook, Washington started to have some conversations with LA, and then they started to pick up here in the last couple of days the possibility for Westbrook to go home. Grew up in LA, played at UCLA, and to now team up with LeBron James and Anthony Davis and leave a team that's certainly rebuilding in Washington to have a chance to finally win a championship in LA. And they finally got that deal done last night.
So it's an enormous deal, obviously, and the names at the top of that roster are huge, but where are the names beneath it? What should we expect them to do from here? Because essentially, outside of those three guys, I can't even think of who else they have under contract.
Well, they really got 5 players under contract, and Marc Gasol is the fourth after their big three. So they've got to start spending their time now. Talen Horton-Tucker, he's their own restricted free agent. They can sign him. This is a team that's going to have to go out and really be looking. They've got a mid-level exception of around $6 million, but then minimum contracts, and you're going to have to hope that veteran players who might take a little bit less, or who the market, it doesn't quite work out the way they think it is. Let me go do a 1 or 2 year deal with LA, get my market value up, have a chance to win a championship. They're going to need shooting on this roster. When you bring Russell Westbrook in, typically you're going to complement LeBron and Anthony Davis because of the attention, they draw on defense. To have shooting around them, Russell Westbrook's game is still attacking the basket. Listen, he was a player last year who could have easily been all NBA. With the kind of season he had, especially how they finished. This is going to be a really intriguing big three to watch, and I think Westbrook is going to bring certainly a lot of electricity back home to LA.
That's for sure. The question is, will he bring another championship? And again, we'll ask Stephen A. and Big Perk as they join us a little bit later this morning. In the meantime, you mentioned Bradley Beal. He's staying put in Washington. The other huge name that was all over the place yesterday was Ben Simmons. Where do we stand now? The draft has come and gone, and he is still a 76er.
Former MVP moving to a new team. Russell Westbrook coming home to Los Angeles. The Wizards agreed to trade Westbrook to the Lakers in exchange for Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They will also get Aaron Holiday from the Pacers after a draft night trade involving the first-round pick that they got from LA in that deal as well. Lakers will get a couple of second-rounders to finish off this trade. Lakers added former MVP Russell Westbrook and his $44 million salary for the upcoming season. Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis have a combined salary that exceeds $120 million. The only other guaranteed contract on the roster based on this trade belongs to Marc Gasol, so they will need to add to their lineup this offseason. Let's welcome Adrian Wojnarowski now for more on this deal. Adrian, why Westbrook for the Lakers?
Well, Russell Westbrook had a desire to see this trade happen, and he had been going back and forth with Bradley Beal here in recent weeks, talking about Beal's future and what that looked like for him in Washington, and it got to a point where the Lakers and Wizards started to work together, and the Wizards, were willing to give Russell Westbrook the opportunity to come home if the Lakers were able to meet, their threshold for a deal. And I think ultimately getting that first-round pick from the Lakers tonight, number 22, that was one of the final pieces to this deal. But listen, Bradley Beal is going to move forward in Washington. He's eligible to sign that Supermax contract. He can do that this year, next year. And they'll start to have some financial flexibility in Washington, to reshape this roster around Bradley Beal. But Russell Westbrook, this is for a Southern California kid. This is a dream come true to go back, play for the Lakers, and now partner up with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And this is, a big three in LA that perhaps we didn't see coming.
But they need some teammates. As we just mentioned, the Lakers currently have just 4 players under contract right now. Where do they go from here to fill out their roster?
Well, obviously, we're headed into free agency here, and they're going to be limited in what they can do financially. I think you're going to have to try to find, I think any number of players on, veteran minimum deals, who want the chance to play for a championship, want to play in LA, and perhaps are going to maybe take a little less money to do that. But certainly financially, the money tied up now in Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, it doesn't leave a lot of flexibility on this roster.
NBA minimum, but you might get a ring. So I guess that's the pitch. Thanks, Woj.
Thanks, Dan.
Westbrook saying goodbye to D.C. says, thank you, D.C. You welcome my family and I with open arms from day one. Everyone from the front office to the training staff, the coaches, my teammates, and the fans. I'm grateful y'all took a chance on me and supported me every step of the way. I'm blessed to have been a part of such a stand-up organization. It didn't take long to make a home in D.C., and I will forever be grateful and appreciative of my experience with the organization. Thank you with the hashtag.
Michael Leaves, Art O'Cal back here with you on SportsCenter. Russell Westbrook heading back to L.A., the former UCLA star. Going from the Wizards to the Lakers in a deal reported by Adrian Wojnarowski, and Russ went to Twitter. It's got to be official, right? Thank you, D.C. You welcome my family and I with open arms from day one. Everyone from the front office to the training staff, the coaches, my teammates, and the fans. I'm grateful y'all took a chance on me and supported me every step of the way. So now that Russ is headed back to L.A., what does this do for the Lakers? Richard Jefferson, what say you?
The entire NBA was completely surprised by the Westbrook trade. We were sitting with Cade Cunningham, and he sat down with us, and we actually informed him of that trade. And look, when you look at Russell Westbrook, you understand his ability, everything that he's able to do. He has been one of the stars in this league since the moment he showed up. But when you're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers, you're also thinking about what did they need? There was a reason why Buddy Hield was tops of their list when you're talking about trade. They needed more shooting around LeBron James, around Anthony Davis. And ultimately, Russell Westbrook definitely makes them better, but they still have to address shooting over the course of this next offseason and free agency.
All right, RJ, now clearly there will be critics of this deal, and they will likely point out the following in those critiques. Russ had the 3rd worst shooting percentage on jumpers last year, and the Lakers ranked bottom 10 as a team. On the plus side, though, the Lakers did need another playmaker after ranking 18th in points assisted a year ago.
They make the playoffs, and now in LA. And what do you think about this combination with LeBron and AD?
So I can relate to Russ, right? Because he's an acquired taste. But what I tell people, if you don't like me, acquire some taste. After my guy Nickel. Here's the thing about Russ, right? He's going to help the Lakers play a lot faster. LeBron James is 36 years of age. He's going to be available every night, whether AD or LeBron are low managing, and also another creative playmaker that's going to be a triple-double threat playing alongside LeBron James.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. And you know what's crazy also? They're both top 7 in the NBA in touches. How will they balance the basketball?
That is key, right?
How will they balance it? I like this, though.
Yeah.
I think this is a play for the playoffs where he's able to have some help late in the playoffs. And, Russell Westbrook, truly talented, but I know some people might be concerned about stretching the floor as well.
Okay, and Oscar Robertson was the big O, Mr. Triple-Double. This is 2.0, Russell Westbrook, 184 triple-doubles. We're talking about a guard that averaged 11 rebounds and 11 assists. Come on.
I'm glad you pointed out the rebounds. She'll tell you, when you have a guard or a perimeter player that can rebound like that, that's the first pass to a fast break. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They're going to be so much faster this year. This is a great thing for the Lakers.
Thank you, Kevin, Jalen, and Chiney. There should be no shortage of scoring on the Lakers. They would have 3 of the top